Greetings, beautiful souls. Welcome to the House of Healing. Today we have our guest, Michael Hartigan of One Sky Astrology, with us today to talk about the live sky, where the planets truly are if we all look up, and why this energy matters, and what he does for us here while he's on this planet Earth. Hello, Michael, and thank you so much for joining us.
Of course. Thank you. Thank you. And hello.
I've got some interview questions for you.
All right.
I really love your wisdom on going back. You have studied immensely to know what you know today. And when you go back to the ancient teachings, like Saturn, our wonderful hula hoop champion, um, is actually the Lord of Healing in agriculture. If we go back, instead of like this Roman disciplinarian.
Mm-hmm.
And so, why these energies and changes matter as we adapt our belief system.
Mm-hmm.
So, where did you first discover your love for astrology? Was there a moment, a teacher, or experience that set you on this path?
The first time that astrology really shook me up and kind of cracked my shell, which was pretty thick at I was like 19, and I met it was just like where I was working, someone I was working with had told me go see this astrologer. I saw this astrologer. It really blew my mind. And I was like, I don't know, I was 19. I had a little pocket money, and I was like, sure, cool. I was into the mysteries. Um I liked, deep stuff. For a kid, I was into at the time I was really most into Taoism. But I went to see this astrologer. Her name was Christine Gons Conrad. And I just sat down with her, and it was a tropical reading, but it really illustrated the power of astrology. She hit on some things that I knew were absolutely true and gave me very helpful and very insightful perspective that she had psychologically, emotionally, about healing, about stepping into the seat of my own power and out of the seat of the victim, blaming my life, my problems on everyone else in society. She really was what I needed to hear at the time, and she hit it right on the head. But I also, out of that session, I got the idea that like astrology is really weird. Like, how in God's huge universe do you know that stuff? Was kind of like, I was just kind of like, wow, I didn't pick my jaw up and kind of like shake the dust off. And then there were other elements of the very same reading that I was like, hold on, lady, like hard no on that, like no. So, but the fire was lit, right? It was, the spark was, it had hit tinder, and it was just all over from there. I was going to crack that mystery.
That's good. That's kind of how it grabbed me too. I would guess I'd say once I started really looking into it. And even when you start with tropical, a lot of it could resonate in different ways.
Mhm.
Because we do actually, this is a good time to ask this question. The sun progresses 1 degree each year.
Mhm.
So as our secondary progression charts, we kind of
Right.
shift into our tropical placements at some point in our life and even
Mhm.
beyond.
And it's often a period of time where we're kind of in the early life, in the first 20, 30 years of life, um, that many people are exposed to astrology, and it can be tropical astrology, and they can be like, for all my life, until I just sort of jumped on the sidereal thing and never looked back. They were trying to tell me I was a Libra, and it's just something in my like my heart was just like, no, and it's new. It's just like you have to listen to that little no, and and I don't know why I had to dig deeper, but some things in tropical like aspects, they never lie. They'll always be right on. So if you have like, a powerful aspect in your chart, uh, a tropical astrologer could read that correctly. They could get that right, and like really hit on something that like impresses you with the power of astrology. And that I think is quite what happened, quite what happened in my case.
And that's another point I was even going to ask was even despite house systems and the tropical sidereal, if we're looking at the aspects, what's more important is what they're doing, how they're communicating, as Julie says. How are the planets communicating squares and oppositions and conjunctions, like we're going to talk about with Neptune and Saturn, Chiron and Eris here in a minute. But these are so important. And then, like, the placement of the sign is important with the energy as well. And what star is it near?
Mm.
Because you are very knowledgeable about the stars as well as in the communication. Like, I'll give an example. I have a stellium of Moon, Mars, Jupiter, and the North Node in Leo. And the South Node is heading towards my North Node right now. I'm about to have like a
Um,
whatever
a
half nodal
nodal
return,
half return, yeah, yeah,
and a Uranus half return right now is what's
right,
going on in my
right.
life. There's all kinds of surprises and shakeups going on. You just held your heart.
That's a wild time. I went through that recently, yeah. So that stellium in Leo sounds very creative, very vibrant, very expressive, and yeah, my brain just took off in three directions. There's a lot there, but you were talking about the regardless of house system, regardless of zodiac, that aspects, and how the planets are communicating with each other. And I
Yes.
and I think I think that's a really important point. Like I would want everyone to understand that because it helps explain a lot of things, like why some things in tropical make sense, like perfect sense, and always will, because those aspects. If you have a very strong aspect, a close aspect, it's like those planets will always be working together. They'll, especially if it's a trine, they'll always be talking to each other, and that creates an alchemy that'll present in someone's life. Mhm.
Yes. Where I was going with that is
Yeah.
was my stelliums like right next to Regulus. So like when we put where a point is at a star, how much does this amplify something in our chart? Like if we're really looking at deeply at our charts and want to know the wisdom of the stars, what do these, how important do you think that is for the stars? Like because you're very knowledgeable about the stars.
Oh, and I'm sorry to go on if that was the direction of the question, but just to speak to Regulus, it's a very powerful star because it's really close to the ecliptic. It's not like Sirius is an amazingly powerful star, but it's pretty far south. And
Yeah.
Canopus too, but there's stars that are right near, like when planets pass them, they're like really right there, like radiating in that light. And Regulus is one of those. And so I think Regulus is a very important star. I think it's one of the most important stars, and it has to do with modeling rulership. Is
Oh,
that is Yeah. So it doesn't mean that you be a ruler of other people, but it's like a leadership or like a authority kind of stamp that Regulus gives. Uh, Regulus gives success, really generally speaking, but it it's tough. There's a lot I could say about Regulus because it comes with its tests. It has tests of integrity. It wants people to use the power that it gives very ethically and responsibly. But as to like whether it's important, I think it's one of the most important stars. It's a very big, powerful star, and it's very close to the ecliptic.
yes, yes. I didn't mean to go so deep into
No, no,
Regulus
go
per
deep,
se,
go
but
deep.
it's going like we're just flowing, so we're just going with
That's
it.
it,
This
that's
isn't
it,
all
yeah.
orchestrated. So
Mhm,
I love
mhm,
that. I love that, and I love how deep you go with it because these are important. And so, like when we pay attention to our chart, like where let's say Neptune and Saturn are per se right now. If we look at a transit chart, not even just your natal chart. So the importance of knowing that, like, if we look at the sky, Neptune and Pisces are, or Neptune and Saturn
mm,
are in Pisces right now,
mhm, mhm,
as opposed to Aries.
mhm.
And why is this so important? Like this great conjunction.
Is that an open question?
Yeah, flow with it.
Wow. Yeah, yeah. Well, that Saturn Neptune is important. Woo, for a lot of reasons, having to do with social change and upheaval. But the fact that it's in Pisces is so different. The way you would interpret the energy of Pisces so different than the way you would interpret the energy of Aries. And I think that the most important thing isn't to say, well, it is very Piscean, because I see so much Piscean energy in the whole unfolding of everything on the, that's the other side of this window. That's the real world, right? Quote unquote, the real world. It's out there. And I see a lot of Piscean, just kind of like a little bit of flow, a little bit of receptivity, a little bit of kind of like, yeah, okay, kind of a lot of grace, a lot of forgiveness, a lot of compassion. But Aries is marked by a much more impulsive, like fiery. I think if we were seeing this kind of social change happen, and it was marked by the stars of Aries, it might be a lot more vigorous or dynamic or even violent. It's possible. But as it is, we've seen what violence we have seen as part of the sweeping social change has it's taken, in my opinion, a long time and lots of it for people to finally get their fists in the air and say, we are not, we're not in accord with this. This doesn't represent our wishes and so on. And that I see as Piscean. So when you look in the sky and you see, like if you got out a telescope, you wouldn't see Saturn in Aries. You could look and look, and you'd only see Saturn in Pisces with Neptune right now. And that's just, it's an interesting question, like why is that important? I think there's like this really really core truth that like it's important because it's real, like because we're talking about what's real and that our words line up with how reality is like that goes right to integrity, that goes right to personal power, like goes right to just the impeccability of our persons, right? And impeccability is very important to maintaining personal power, like keeping things nice and good and right. It keeps certain power going. So why are we interested in how things are? Why don't we just talk about it like, oh, that's Aries? I think um I think that does dilute that subtle twist. I think it dilutes integrity, and I think it erodes personal impeccability. I'll go as far as to say I think the whole wool over people's eyes, the tropical thing, it just it's just another sort of brick in the wall of like, facts. This modern movement, this like post-truth world we live in. It's just another encroachment in that direction. So that's why I think it's important. Can I turn the question around? I know I'm your guest, but
Yeah,
what's
yeah.
there for you? Like you've obviously made quite an endeavor of this, aligning with it, promoting it. Why is it so important to be aligned with reality?
I think integrity and authenticity. And I laughed when you said Aries is like, why can't we just talk about it? Because I'm an Aries sun natal. And
Cool.
that's pretty much how I am. And I'm kind of excited about this changing the year of the snake. Like we've been through this COVID with Chiron in Pisces, not Aries. Chiron's in Pisces, not Aries. This is another point to make, that
Mhm.
Chiron is now going to leave Pisces soon and enter the sign of Aries, kind of like we're moving into the year of the fire horse. And
Mhm.
so the
Mhm. Yeah.
yang energy, and what we're working with authenticity, what we're bringing forth, looking at the real sky, keeping it real. And I'm hoping that like we're going to get more movement. I've been witnessing this Neptune and Pisces, and maybe a lot of illusions and a lot of escapism,
Mhm.
a lot of either we can turn to healing or we could not, drown it out, so to speak.
Mhm.
And so it could be a healing time, but we were all even forced into isolation.
Mhm.
We might have become more spiritual, like you said, and maybe even detached. I hear people say
Mhm.
they're not subscribing to this timeline. Like if we
Mhm.
look at our windows or we go look at the news and
Mhm.
say, "Oh my God, this is really what's going on,"
Mhm.
um, and are we running from it, escaping like
Mhm.
into a spirituality? Maybe it's a time of deep healing where that's happened.
Mhm.
That's kind of how I've seen things too. And that with Chiron and Pisces, maybe it's been a time of deep healing for me through
Yeah.
grief. And I feel like I'm getting my fire back,
Good.
as Chiron's going to move into Aries. And also my secondary progress moon is about to move from Pisces into Aries. So it's just,
That's big. That's
yeah.
that's big. Yeah. Cool.
I feel the flame will come because the energy. You see what I'm saying? Like I'm feeling hope for us taking our power back, shifting as people,
Yeah.
um, where we got lost during COVID. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, I mean, to a point. I hear you, and I think a lot of people might have gotten a little lost during COVID, but I think other people really kind of found it forced them to sort of separate out what was really important, what really mattered, and they kind of found something that they found a sort of central light or pillar, something, because we had to just go inward. We couldn't distract, and I mean, some people spent that whole whatever couple of years just probably playing video games, totally distracting themselves, same as it ever was. And those people, I mean, you could argue they, they never had a chance. They were gonna do that and stuff anyway. That's just the bent to their character. You could say all kind of things about people who just kind of refuse to get a memo that large and like in everyone's face. But for people who got the memo, who was like, "Hi, nature is responding." I heard that even though it might have been, uh, I don't separate any of this from nature. You know what I mean? I don't like, you know what I mean? Like nature moves through people, nature moves through society, nature moves through technology, nature does what it wants. So when nature talks, um, I think a lot of people, it gave them reason to introspect and find what was really meaningful and what really had the power to get them through. And I feel like, if for people who didn't do that, like, what were you doing? Maybe they'd already done that. Maybe they were already
Yeah.
solid on their rock. But if I mean, I don't know. So I just want to. I'm not pushing back in the sense of argument. Not at all. Not at all. But I just want to kind of flip that coin and say that for everyone who kind of like fucked around and found out during those years, there were other people who were really taking that time and like doing the study. I know people who were like discovered Khan Academy and just got an education. I know people who, I mean, um, I'll I'll quit. I risk like going on a kind of like
No,
tangent, but
yeah, that's the flip side of it. There were two forks in the road.
uh,
We could take one fork. Like me, I just kept studying. I
mhm,
joined your group on
yeah,
Facebook.
yeah,
If we want to drop that link, I think
Yeah.
I want to say welcome to our guests real quick. Um, we've got
Yeah.
Lori and all the people from Radical Astrology and Stellar Foundations.
Yes,
That's
yes.
somewhere that you're. And if you'd like another thing to talk about the International Sidereal Association, do you
Yeah.
guys have anything coming up?
Yeah, we do. We will be. Man, I was just gonna open my schedule here so I don't like misrepresent this event. We have a uh, podcast coming up February 18th, the Sidereal Rising podcast. So I'm not sure I have a link for that, but we're going to be talking about Saturn and Neptune and sweeping social change and all this stuff from that point of view. It's also going to be a little bit special announcement. We're gonna kind of I can sort of tease an upcoming project, a podcast. I'm going to be announcing the going the birth of a podcast with Francisca Arnett. She and I are doing a project, and we're gonna go announce the and kind of unveil that at this event on the 18th. But this is the ISA podcast. I think from what I understand, it's going to be a panel discussion, just open, kind of like you know popcorn style conversation about Saturn and Neptune. They have a 36-year cycle, and it's a big one, and it like really it's known for messing things up, and here it is again, and it's messing stuff up. So you can talk about it from the point of view of planets. So yeah, ISA, that's exciting. Um, Yeah, and the link, if maybe we'll put it in the description. I actually don't have it handy for Radical Astrology, but I host a Facebook group. It's a space for sidereal people and people who do true sky astrology to connect. So just search it out on Facebook if you use that platform.
Yes, I can get it actually.
Dope. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, you'd think I'd come prepared
It's all right.
to this stuff. My
I
life's been a blur. It's just the last week. we, it's more than just the snow. It's like, but I'm okay. Everything's good. Yeah, we're doing well. Yeah.
I've already invited a bunch of my friends, but I'm gonna drop this here. Let me see. I'm gonna drop it in the YouTube chat. Okay,
Bless you.
Radical. That's really exciting. That's
Yeah.
how I found you. Was through Kim. Um,
Nosworthy Lovelace.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
Kim, Raw Star 13.
Star
There's
13.
Here is Michael's Radical Astrology group. I think what it was is you and Kim did a video together, and then I found you, and then I found your group. And
Yeah.
so I just have been like learning from you just ever since.
Oh,
And
cool. Yeah. Bless you.
I'm pleased to watch like even your growth and how you like came
Oh,
into
thank you.
Stellar Foundations. You've been such an amazing help with Capricorn Prometheus and
Thank you.
different settings. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is
My
really
pleasure.
exciting. I'm very excited for all of you guys that are going through like how the ISAA, did I say that right?
Yeah.
Is all coming
ISAA.
together.
Exact.
Okay, yeah, it's all coming together nicely, and all you wonderful astrologers are coming together and bringing it together beautifully. All this beautiful wisdom.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. We have basically a goal to promote sidereal astrology, just promote accurate, like astronomically accurate astrology and sidereal astrology of all kinds, not just constellational, but yeah. So it's an easy shared goal to get behind. If anyone out there shares that goal, siderealinternational.org is that website. I know that link, so you can check out ISAA. Heather, where'd you go? All right. I guess we will wait for the return of Heather. Heather,
Ta-da!
you're back.
Like a magician.
Like a magician, right? Like, for my next
Oh,
trick,
this is how we deal with
for my
it.
next trick, we'll produce heather out of the fabric of space. The
I
fabric
don't
of,
know what just happened. We're living in the 2026.
oh
And
man, yeah.
this is important, even. So, as we're changing into Aquarius, ruled by Uranus,
Mm,
I'm kind of like just had an epiphany on the importance of my South Node that's on that cusp and how you can embrace
mm,
that energy of
mm.
Capricorn and Capriquarius. I called it Capriquarius. So,
Aquarius, absolutely.
we're kind of on this edge of technology advancement, and it's going so fast
Mhm.
as we're
Mm.
moving
Ooh,
closer to the age of Aquarius.
it's true, it's true.
Um, that all of this magic that we can just do, like talking
Mm,
the way we're talking right
mm.
now, is
No,
part of the system.
yeah, we take it for granted. The kids have never lived in a world without it. And, yeah, what do you think about that cusp, Capricorn and Aquarius? Those are a little bit difficult energies to blend, no?
Yeah, and I'm really looking at the importance of the south and north lunar nodes, which is why I even asked you about the special you did with Rio on the true,
Right,
because some of them are not the same as a tropical south and north and south lunar node.
right,
Like if
right.
in 13 sign they would fall into maybe two different signs that aren't 12 equal.
Right, like in equal sign, if you had a node in Aquarius, the other node would be in Leo, but in even sign, you could, or in, constellational, the boundaries aren't quite exactly even, so you could have a north node in, say, Capricorn and a south node in Leo, which is, those 2 signs don't have a natural opposition to each other, but there's a natural axis that picks up just the edges of those, and it expresses in people's lives. You have a cuspy node. Do you have do you want to talk about that, or is that not? Do
Sure.
you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's talk about it.
yeah. What brings that up for you? Like, you say the
Well,
South,
yeah, because well, it's, yeah, my south, because my north node is in Leo.
Leo.
It's at
Yeah,
Regulus with that whole stellium.
right.
And I'm realizing it's pretty important when we have this nodal return that something's going to flip and
Yeah,
that we're supposed to go from this. Well, I could say mine's on Capriquarius, right at Capricorn and Aquarius line, depending which one you use. On Raw Stars chart, it's in Capricorn. On True Live or True Sky and Capricorn Prometheus, it's in Aquarius.
gotcha.
So I would say it's on the line.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I could be going from maybe a hardworking, overworking in technology or
Mm,
overworking in general as
mm,
and that's my rising sign Capricorn, that I'm supposed to be pivoting into more creation and art and expression with my
yeah.
moon and Mars in Leo in the north node, all of it all together right there.
Wow. So your Aquarius would be like even sign second house, and your Leo would be, that stellium's in your eighth house, like even sign wise. Does that?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's
exactly.
that's powerful. Was
Thanks.
37 a huge year for you? Was 37, did everything
Oh,
change in your life?
flipped.
Flipped?
Absolutely.
Absolutely flipped.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's the
yeah.
power of a nodal return. That's your second
Ah,
nodal return. Those nodal returns are huge. And when you have one with a luminary like the sun, or a major stellium, or like powerful planets in your chart, like ruling the ascendant or ruling a lot of other planets, it's just like, I mean, some people describe that kind of second nodal return thing as like a light switch, but it sounds like for you it was more like a, I don't know, how would you describe it? What, I mean,
a lightning bolt.
a lightning bolt. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it was like one.
Nodes are powerful. And then when you said now you're in a nodal half return, so your south node's on your natal north node, and your north node transiting on your natal south node. Do you feel swimming upstream? Do you feel like at odds with the world? Do you feel people are like up to one thing and you're just trying to like make your way through another? Or do you have the support
Yeah.
you need? It's really common not to
Oh,
have the support people need and nodal half returns, but to feel they just have to
oh,
fight and swim
yeah.
upstream.
Yeah, I just said that we all need each other, even through this whole experience, because I keep saying we're all walking each other home, like
Yeah.
through
Oh,
all the different levels.
and home is where the heart is. We're just what
Yes,
you
it
know.
is.
We're
I
just.
just got chills.
Oh yeah, yeah. We are. We're walking each other home. I love that.
Yes. So, let's see. Now we have another question because we have a. What do you think the importance of this Saturn Neptune, which is falling like right before we have the eclipse with the new moon? And
Yes.
you do. I did want to say all of Michael's links are being dropped. We've got like 7 concurrent viewers right now, and we're on Facebook Live.
Hi everyone. Yeah.
Um, and so I've dropped Michael's links in the chat to Radical Astrology Group if anybody wants to join. Michael is always helpful in answering people's questions as they're new to things. He's a wonderful guide. I've
Thank you.
also dropped, you're welcome, Michael's on the Nightbot. Nightbot is dropping your link every so many minutes, every 11 minutes and every 13 minutes
Okay.
to
Okay.
your website.
Oh, cool.
Um and which is I'm going to ask you next, and your YouTube channel. So
Mm.
they can get your YouTube channel there, they can get your website, and if you offer any services, what kind of services do you offer besides your Facebook group?
Oh, as an astrologer, I do a lot of natal chart readings, a lot of transit readings. I do some astrocartography, which uh, no, I don't get as many requests for that as I do the usual stuff. And then people come to see me. They often have an idea, their own question, or they want to look at a period of time, or they're just looking to get an astrological perspective from a constellation, true sky, kind of like uh, that point of view, and they'll just already have their own request. I get a lot of people who use astrology in their lives because it's like often I think a little bit of a journey to get to the kind of like I don't know. I don't it's gonna sound like I'm a little bit like I feel superior about the kind of astrology I practice, but I do, it's not mainstream. So you get everyone gets exposed like mainstream and you dig around. And if you dig deep enough, you start to notice like, oh, there's some bunch of ways to do this. And if you're really open-minded, you start to go, oh, some people do this totally differently. And once you start studying the history of astrology, it's all over because it all goes back to sidereal. It's like the tropical is just like a recent invention, and everyone's confused, and that's just be a short phase of history, I hope. But all love. But let's because we can always take off on tangents. I want to stay focused to the question, and
Okay.
I think that's my answer.
Okay. So if anybody wants a reading from Michael, his links are there. That's wonderful. And you can join the group. There's a
Yeah,
whole bunch of people in radical astrology, a whole bunch of astrologers, new and advanced astrologers, seasoned, who have studied for years. And some do tropical. I've even seen some tropical charts in there, and everybody can just get along and see from different perspectives and flow with the energy there. But it's
yeah,
pretty wonderful. It's a
yeah.
good place you
It's
have.
a good place. We keep a safe place that's just it's a place to connect on astrology for
Hmm.
people who do astrology or use astrology or just have an interest or want to see what's there. And I think my favorite thing about the community is that I think it reflects that kind of like the kind of ease and confidence that like reality and maybe only reality can provide. Like we're not, I notice in a lot of astrology groups people are constantly sort of like I don't know, they kind of spin their wheels on where it doesn't quite add up, or they like focus overly much on where it does. They romanticize stuff. They go all these different mythological directions. But um, the interesting thing about the real sky is that you know, not not any kind of practice that comes out of using it. That's not the really interesting thing. But the interesting thing is the communication in the community that arises around it. It's like uh, it's almost like wholesome. It's almost like it's so good. It really is. It's like it's like a tall glass of water on a hot day. I swear. It's like just the way everyone is like cool and can get along, and like, and you can ask questions. I've never seen anyone harsh anyone on any question, and it's just like uh, it's a safe place to be curious. It's a safe place to be. It's a safe place to be. On Facebook,
That,
right? So there's limited safety. We're dealing with like a corporate arm of this chthonic octopus, but at the same time, it does allow everyone a common forum
yes,
where we can meet and talk
yes,
with,
absolutely.
with as long as we don't offend the gods of algorithm. Right?
Having safe space is so important
It
in
is.
so many ways to be able
Yes.
to talk about this. Like, there's a question in the comments, but I need to find it. And
Mm.
before I go to that, I wanted to ask you about the importance of Ophiuchus. Like, Ophiuchus at the galactic center of
Mhm.
of of our overlapping Scorphucus,
Mhm.
as Dr. Danny would say,
Oh,
our
yeah, yeah.
galactic center. I'm just covered in chills, and we're moving from the year of, it's freezing in here. So if you keep seeing me shiver, it's because I usually
I
get up
got you.
and I shut my
Gotcha,
heater off
gotcha.
while we
Oh,
were
wow,
talking,
yeah.
so there's
Jeez.
no so it's fine.
Okay.
But we're moving from the year of the wood snake, so we
Yeah.
could talk about Ophiuchus
Mm.
and this snake energy with healing, and how
Mhm.
many of us did dive into this energy and this healing and this spirituality and this wonderful serpent energy that's not bad. We want to
Yeah.
talk about Ophiuchus for a moment.
Just, I'll just sort of just kind of springboard off that serpent energy that's not bad, because I think in this culture, serpent certainly gets a bad rap. You know, it's I don't know. It's mostly a Judeo-Christian idea, but it's not limited to that. It's really not. Like snake has always been a little bit of a difficult character, you know, to in any mythology, in any like whatever Aboriginal or Indigenous. But snake has always been wise. It's always been, as a creature, the snake has always been representative of wisdom. I think of even the phrase "wise as serpents," be wise as serpents, and that was cautionary. I actually, if I'm not a Christian scholar, but if I think Yeshua said that to his people who were listening to him. He said, "Be wise as serpents," and he was, I think, if I'm not mistaken, uh, counseling them not to be like naive spiritual people, but not to be like just lottie dottie, you know, the spirit of things is with us, spirit of creation, but to actually be somewhat judicious and maybe even discriminating in their considerations, right? Um, I don't know. I think the serpent is such a hard, it's a hard energy to understand, because it's like spiders or scorpions or things that like there's a natural sort of I want to say aversion to. Like when we see it, we just sort of naturally go the other way. Like it's why stop signs are like eight sided, because you know, certain energies like that arachnid and the eight, it just causes us to back up. And the snake is one of those things. When you see a snake, not many people go towards the snake. Most people, most animals, most everything, when they on recognition of the snake, it's like give the snake some space. That's kind of my first impression of snake energy, and it kind of goes along with that Scorpio energy. Like Scorpion was always like a protector, very, very, very warrior like, but very nurturing. Scorpion carries its little babies on its back until they're old enough to do scorpion things for themselves. And like Scorpion, um, always stood in the ancient world for it was kind of military. It was kind of that it was kind of that energy. Like no doubt they recognized what it was, but it was a nurturer, it was a protector, it was a guardian of the secrets. Um, and the snake too, in the same way, I think the best favor that I think modern people can do for ourselves to just develop a healthy relationship with serpent energy is probably step outside the usual thinking about the snake as like sort of like sinister, or I think the snake is clever. I think the snake is a cunning energy. It's a strategic energy. Um, we could talk a lot about like poison and medicine. I think that's been, we've explored that. The poison is the medicine. It's a matter of dosage and intention. It's not, and that goes very broadly to everything. So when we consider a fucus, I think we're thinking about an energy that encourages us to almost like master a dangerous energy, right? Master a potentially venomous energy, and there's a lot of like there's a lot of charge in that, just to think about that, just to think in real life of actually picking up a sizable snake is actually pretty scary for most people. So this whole archetype is like, it's like a very, very strange power. An element of dark power in that it's the shadow side of things. It's not the side of things we're usually looking at. It's like, this is snake energy. It's different. And for that, it's like it's so potentized, which is so perfectly symbolized by the galactic center at the end of it. We just hit this like gravity well of just like, and from it we emerge, right, the phoenix into Sagittarius and so on. But just to riff on the snake, I think the best thing we can do is like not just kind of divorce it from strict associations that we may have through our like spiritual understandings, and just treat it as part of nature, like an archetype. And
Yeah.
um because this part of the sky is like, there's a gravity there, there's a seriousness there, there's like a high road, low road, and it's a dangerous journey. People fail this journey, they fail to make the journey. The people die on the way to that pinnacle that a fucus and the high road represent. And it's quite serious. It's quite dangerous. It's quite charged. It's very dramatic. It's like, wow. It's like gives life a certain like like caliente kind of like a certain spice, right? So, or at least it's like a je ne sais quoi, like some kind of something. It gives something that's not boring, right?
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
sitting opposite of Taurus, where we have like all this kind of stability and comfort. I don't want to call Taurus boring. I don't want to step on anyone's toes, but Scorpio, Fucus, certainly like so very powerful and dramatic.
Hmm. Yes, I was looking at this question someone had, which I thought was going to be an astrology question, but it says Sharon, our viewer, my dear sister from Scotland, is here. And she said her head and neck have been so tense. I've
Mm,
been massaging all day, and she's a Reiki healer.
mm.
She said, what's the connection to this movement, please, if you connect? So I wonder if there's, do you think as actually the planets and things align in the sky, do you think there's anything that could be going on with that? let's see, Saturn's in Pisces, and Saturn rules what, like a body part? Pisces is the feet,
Mm.
but she said her neck
This is a subject
and
that
head.
I have to cheat on this
Oh,
subject.
yeah.
I have to I'm gonna call in my cheat sheet and
That's
go to my
fine.
thanks. I'm gonna go to my I'm gonna go to my
I wasn't ready for that either. I thought it
no,
was going to
no,
be an
that's okay.
astrology question.
No, that's okay. That's okay. What I want to say, I'm not good with the physiology, but let me see what's associated. Taurus is neck, throat, lower jaw, ears, like
Oh,
jugular,
yes, Taurus,
thyroid. Taurus is the energy. So
the
what's
throat
happening in
chakra.
Taurus right now? We have Uranus close to the
Hmm.
Pleiades, and Uranus is near the degree of dwarf planet Sedna. There could be well, first of all, without needing to like precisely astrologize any of this, I just want to say that there's a lot of stress, just incredible amounts of stress that go along with these outer planet configurations. Like the last time we saw anything like this, and we have through history, we've seen lots of this. Um, and it almost always correlates with like really radical social upheaval and change. For example, in 1989, Saturn and Neptune came together, and they were with Uranus, and they were sextile Pluto. And so this triple conjunction, sextile Pluto, in 89, that was a famous year for revolution, widely considered the year the Cold War ended. Although 91 saw the USSR disintegrate, but the Berlin Wall fell at that time. And it's just big movements. You know, there's no way to go through the kind of change that outer planet configurations symbolize without great stress. And depending on how we handle stress, where we keep it in our body, or what it triggers in our body, or how we give expression to it, how we give constructive expression, how we give creative expression, how we channel our stress and express it constructively. That all varies very much from person to person. But what doesn't vary is that these great periods of social change are stressful. They're incredibly stressful. So I'm not trying to tell you, oh, we've all got pain in our neck. I believe you. I believe you have deep pain in your neck and it's problematic. But I think my first thought is, without needing to go to Taurus and Aquarius and say, oh, this, my my take on it is this. I just want to encourage you to like um and everyone listening, regardless of where you keep your stress and how you process it, just be good to yourself right now, because change is stressful. Yeah,
Yes.
there's no big social corner we're going to turn. And everything's sideways right now. Everything is sideways. Robots are smarter than people. um, you know, we've got the trampling of constitutional rights in the United States. It's just the world is flirting with danger. So
Hmm.
that's my first thought. Now, Uranus is an actor in all that, and if you have placements in Taurus near the Pleiades that Uranus is activating, is hitting on, you may have a really personal response to this. And Uranus can manifest as like body electricity, like stress, like uh, yeah, and also the kind of like tension and sort of release of it. Sometimes Uranus acts as a kind of like, it'll shake tension off. somewhat spasmodically. So if any of that fits, like we're really throwing a lot of spaghetti at the wall to see what's going to stick here. But if any of that sticks, maybe it could be directly related to Uranus and Taurus. Um,
That's a good first place to check for sure.
I'll leave that there. Yeah, I don't think I have a lot more to offer on that. I wish you well. I think meditation is always prayer and meditation, just developing a relationship with anything bigger than yourself, the planet, the universe, anything in between. I mean, spirit, God, whatever you want to call it, no problems there. It's a very supportive force in life, in the universe. It's very good. And I'm not implying that anyone does or doesn't have that already, but this is definitely a time to like listen to those things your body's telling you about how to nourish yourself. When we have pain, I think it's our body. It wants our attention, and it's asking for correction. Pain's telling us something is needing us to look there. So um, maybe just a final piece of advice would be just to be easy on yourself and listen, but to address those things probably on a more like practical kind of just like cause and effect basis, like neck hurts, like Epsom salts bath, rather than sometimes trying to astrologize things it's too abstract, when what we really need is just concrete solutions that make sense. So I don't know
Yes.
if any of, yeah, all of the above too. I'm not, I have no problem with astrology and medical astrology and looking at all that. But I think I'll leave it there. Thank you.
Thank you for that. You always dive so deep into it. And you do such an excellent way of breaking it down. And it
Thank you.
goes like with the healer, the snake, where we've been in the snake and the healing. And I was so grateful that you just said, with all the stress going on in this world, take care of yourself. That's what
Mm,
I've been saying for
mm.
years on this channel, is that we all have to take care of ourselves. We all have to really, really, especially during these crazy times in the
Oh,
USA.
yeah. Yeah, nobody does anything alone. The USA has this deranged model of doing things. It's like this John Wayne kind of like solitary, rugged individualist. It's not just men. Like everybody in the United States gets this like message that like this is how we do things. We do it, and it's like nobody ever did anything on their own. Everybody everybody has a network of help and assistance that gets anything accomplished. I've never heard of anyone bootstrapping anything truly up just out of an absolute vacuum with what I mean? Like everything is interpersonal support. So if we're taking care of ourselves, we can be there for others. And that's the way through. That's the way through this. That's what this time of purification or time of healing or time of yeah, we can call it either. I think this time we're in now, I think this is designed by the universe, by the plan of reality, to bring us actually those of us who are willing to step forward and come together. It's designed to bring us together. It seems like sometimes
Absolutely.
it's tearing everything apart, tearing it. I know how it might seem, but I think out of a response to that, we have to either rise to the challenge or risk being drowning under that wave. We have to rise. We have to swim. It's what's being asked of us. We
Yes.
have to
And
help
it
each other up. Yeah.
absolutely brings us all together. That's really like we're numerologically, whatever that
Mhm.
word is. In numerology, we're in the year of one, and like that's after ending a year of nine completion. And so we're going from the year of the snake into the horse, which is more like a fire energy. First house in the 12 sign is
Mm.
Aries. And so that's like a pivot of new beginnings, and it's totally bringing us all together um in a magical way.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's profound. The people who only see The people who only see the problems and I'm not a problem denier. That's not what's going on here. But there's people who focus on that, and they it can be very disempowering to put your energy and your focus on all this harm. But when there's a certain point of pendular swing, I think, even for people who really have like a fixation on that stuff, where you have to retreat. It gets to be too much for you, and you have to go find what nourishes me, what people support me, who can I mean, what is meaningful at this stage in the game.
Yeah. Do you have anything that you want to share? Any burning desires or things you want to talk about? You want to talk about the eclipse? I don't want to keep you too much longer after an hour. Like,
Oh,
I
okay,
think well, it
cool.
depends how long you want to flow. If you want to flow for longer on an astro jam, I just usually think that people would like to go 1 hour and
Yeah, an
so
hour is
so
an hour is a good length. On this eclipse, I'll only say it's gonna be a North Node eclipse in, the constellation Aquarius, so I think that
mm,
to the idea of stress and change and, Aquarius being like a real, you know, kinda hallmark of change, those stars kind of radiate change and infuse everything with great. What goes into Aquarius usually comes out looking somewhat different than it went in because it's a Aquarius is a sign of radical change at times. And so a North Node eclipse in Aquarius is likely to signify taking off in a new direction. And my only thought on this is rather than let that define you and feel dragged, like, oh, we're off in a new direction. Psh, great. It's probably not going to be a good one. This will get worse before it gets better. Like, and honestly, I'd co-sign all that. I'm not even talking like in like fully sarcastic ways, but instead of letting it define you, take it in your hand and say, well, I'll take off in a new direction. Like, this is my life. How will this affect me? What new direction would I like to take off in if I knew that the energies now were a springboard to do exactly that? So don't, in other words, like, I mean, the world is always gonna do what the world does. It gets worse, it gets better. It's just, I mean, so much of that is so far out of everyone's hands. But in looking at these patterns, the real question is where is my agency? Where is my power? Where's my connection to the bigger reality? What am I open to letting flow through me? It's a little bit philosophical, a little bit abstract, but I just want to remind people that even as sideways as everything has already gone, and the idea that these outer planet transits are going to last a year or two more, and we're in like a deep phase of WTF, like deep in it. This always between you and God. It's always between you and the universe, the spirit of the universe. There's none all this, the rest is details. It's just how you navigate the details. That's between you and the universe. And if we keep it there, we'll all be able to take the high road, and we'll all be able to show up for each other, and we'll all be able to see each other on the other side of whatever this is.
yes, we will. I love that. I love the philosophical with it. So that's really good.
Cool.
So we are at an hour now. So I think I asked everything like questions as far as aspects, like the way the planets communicate is very, very important, like this conjunction. Because there also is the Chiron-Eris. So we didn't talk too much about that, but it's
If
okay.
you want to, no, we
You
could
want to
take an
talk
extra
about it?
10, extra 15. That's no, oh
Uh,
yeah.
I think
I'm
I
here
think
for it.
this Chiron-Eris. I don't think a lot of people are talking about it as
Mm,
importantly, but I
yeah.
think like Chiron's
River
getting to.
Culver is talking about it. Have you
I've heard, yes, I've
Yeah,
seen
yeah.
River. And
Yeah.
so I had to see who's talking about it publicly
Mhm.
and what are your thoughts on it. If you don't mind another 10 minutes, let's do it,
No,
please.
no, no, not at all. My Eris and Chiron coming together in Pisces is something that I think is an invitation for all of us to look into where we've been hurt without re-traumatizing ourselves, but instead to look from our point of view now, right? Chiron makes the journey of the healer, um, which starts with being wounded. We have to become interested in how do I fix this, and as we become proficient in this, we gain a skill, and having a skill set of healing, we can then heal others, become a healer. This is like the Chiron journey, the three-phase journey, the early wound that sets us on the trajectory to reclaim ourselves, to heal, um, and then that journey to heal, and then having that sort of, yeah, to be a healer to others. And Eris is so hard to understand. Eris is the part of us that we do not want to look at. I don't care who you are or how dark or edgy or who you think you are. It doesn't matter out there. I uh I think Eris is more than you think she is when you first approach. It's the depth of what we other, right? It's everything we project onto others because we're not able to accept it in ourselves. And we're everything. We're a microcosm of the whole, the whole, the wheel, the sphere, the cosm, whatever. It's all in there. And Eris knows this. This is the secret to Eris potency and power. Eris understands there's no real need for shame or doubts or guilt about our I mean, in this case, so our wounded side, right? Our early traumas. Eris knows that this is okay. But Eris, the journey Eris takes people on when she interacts with them in their chart is a journey into the shadow to see what am I not able to encompass. Because if I'm everything, if I'm the whole universe, but I'm saying like, oh no, I'm only these things and those other things, I hate those things. Those things suck. I'm not that. No way, I'm not that. Because those people over there are like that, and I don't do that. So already you have set yourself up a wall to bang your head into. It's amazing how the universe lets us do this, and I mean, you can smash your skull. It's almost unlimited. I think the universe gives us that freedom. We can do that. Or like the wisdom of Eris, because I don't think Eris can present situations like that. But Eris, if we're listening, is wanting us to discover that everything we hate, that's because those are unresolved parts of us. And that's why people become what they hate. I see this. I've always seen this, that people, when they hate something, when they really rage against it, whether it was punks who raged against the corporate world, or I mean, all those people, half of them grew up. I mean, the list of people I know now who have worked for like Fortune 500s or governments or this and that, and I hold no grudges. I have nothing against governments or Fortune 500. It's just part of our modern landscape. But the people who hate the way their maybe a parent was with them, and they grow up, and because that hatred and that projection and that other, and they never took a hold of that themselves and said, oh, that's mine, and now that it's mine, I have power. That agency is the fruit in my hand. It's not his anymore. He can't do anything about it. This is me. The whole thing shifts. It opens. You're no longer like caught in that dualistic, like I, thou, like with its friction and tension, but instead you have like a we. It's like a shared, it's like, oh, right, we're people, and we have psyches, and a psyche does that. It buries its pain until it can process it, and so this Chiron Eris conjunction is a clarion call, right? In Pisces from the universe, late Pisces too. It's a real clarion call to see how the pain of our early lives is presenting obstacles to us now, and how to reclaim, right? Uh, like like soul retrieval, or like the parts of us that are lost, like a shamanic reclamation, a soul reclamation, a reclamation at the very deepest level of self and personhood, to say, um, we've all got a lot of other people bouncing around in there. People get in there, and it's not always nice, the methods they use to establish a foothold in someone else's psyche. But we have to walk that Chiron path of healing, and at the end of that path is the beginning of a new path, where we're able to be of real benefit to others.
Yes.
And that's the most important thing that I think we can be doing right now in relation to this Eris Chiron conjunction, is recognizing the opportunity to really like hold a sober position from your present point of view, and you can look back. You can even hold yourself as a child. You can be the love you needed. You can do it. You can really get in there. But the clarion call is asking you to sort of look at where you're held back, look at where you could heal, look at where there's room for improvement, without re-traumatizing, without like fixating and obsessing and going back in and being a victim again, without that, because Chiron wants to uplift and reclaim. I think it's happening for everyone, and I think it's humanity's understanding that. I mean, kind of all of that, but more on a collective level, it's more the issue that like we're all in this together. Like we're all one. None of this I'm up here and you're down there is going to fly. Like we're a human kind, a human species. I mean, you could say a human race. We could say
Yes.
humanity, right? And in this
Yes.
organism of humanity, we're all just fingers on one hand. It looks like, Grant Morrison said this, it looks like if you put it through a plane, you'll see 5 circles. And we get lost thinking like, oh, I'm over here and you're over there. We're just fingers on one hand. This is one human thing. And all of us collectively have to see that all of us collectively are in the same boat on that one. There's a trauma wave that's moving through our recent history, and it's just on us to heal at Chiron's challenge. So thanks for letting me get that out all in one piece. You're a great listener.
Thank you. I love
Absolutely.
listening to you. I love you.
Cool.
I love your moon reports. I've not been
Thank
always
you.
leaving comments, but
Ah,
I am always here listening, and
thank
I
you.
love how you break it down. I love how you just explained that, because I think we are on this beautiful shamanic journey, and of a healing, and we are in the year of one. I'm really grateful that you are so saying that, because we're one race, we're one family. Like
Yeah,
really,
family.
we're
Thank
not
you.
even like, I'm just covered in chills saying that. Like
Oh
we're all
man,
family all over the world,
it
and
is. It's
watching
true.
this fighting over
Mm.
anything is just utter nonsense, when we're all losing if we're destroying each other over anything. Like love, it comes down to just, we're family, and that's really um
I think I think
beautiful.
I think that's the lesson that so many people are here to learn. Um, there are truths that are more true than just someone's individual truth and how they feel. You can feel all kind of ways, like, oh, I'm not like them, but you're 99.9, like the ways in which we're all alike just simply dwarf the ways in which we're different. And to come to terms with the idea that we focus so intently, so fixatedly on the differences, and we miss the idea that we have not only a great shared destiny together. Like if we don't sort life on Earth out, like it's like the universe doesn't care. It'll cook humans and replace us with something else, and that's the blink. Oh, that just happened. Like trust me, dinosaurs. Sure, I mean we still have alligators and chickens, but I mean seriously, things change very chaotically, very fast, and that doesn't mean to sound ominous, but just to sound like respectful of our responsibility here on the surface of this beautiful planet, because we seem to be somehow responsible for each other and for caretaking here, um, and until we get that sorted out, I think there's a whole galaxy and even a cosmos out there that isn't even going to take us seriously. We don't have a seat at the table because we're too busy fighting among ourselves. We're not, the Galactic Council is like, yeah, Earth, those hicks, like we're like we're like the ratchet bastard child of the Milky Way, and you know what I mean. And this is our legacy. This is our legacy until we fix what's going on, and we get but these are the lessons that humanity is learning right now. Is we are watching in real time as masses of people go through the necessary experiences they need to go through to evolve into a place to presumably one day we'll get this right at scale, like life on Earth. I have faith that is truly within the realm of possibility. And it being truly within the realm of possibility, there are a lot of important forces that are like, okay, let's go. We gotta get this thing moving. But
Do you think it'll spark that? Sorry to interrupt you. Do you
no,
think
no,
Chiron moving into Aries might spark something? Like, say, maybe light a flame under ours and get us moving in the right direction a little. You know how we're saying, let's get this moving, let's get it
yeah,
going.
yeah.
So, do
I
you
think
think?
that's the Pisces
Because I
Aries
think,
transition. Yeah, it's the
yeah, we're
flame.
all about to have this Aries return. Like, you are about to
Mm.
have one, and so there's a big Chiron return
So
coming
so
up
so
for
Chiron.
everybody.
Okay, let me walk that back a little. Okay, because we were talking about how you and I were born with Chiron and Aries, so we're about to have a Chiron return. Okay,
Yeah.
I follow you. Yes, we
Well,
are.
just Lori said, let's make this a regular conversation, please. She's about
Oh,
to have
cool.
a Chiron return.
Yeah.
Um, I'm not sure Sharon might be Pisces, but I know Desiree is the same age as me. So, like, this is a big
Chiron.
energy
Yeah,
shifting
yeah.
for
Especially for
all of us
healers, for
for
people who
movement.
have walked that path to overcome the deep early pain and actually walk that path so truly and deeply that they have shed those skins and they are able to offer meaningful benefit to others. This is like a homecoming, like a real loud bell. It's a big one. So I love that. I love that. It's a time of fruition, completion, a cycle, yeah, completed. Anything else out there, like questions on the chat or anything?
No, let's see. Does anybody have any questions? I'll tell you a comment though. Sharon said, "Michael, your voice alone is carrying a settling resonance," and I
Oh,
do. You and Raw Star have this calming, chill, hypnotic way you deliver your star reports, and then we
oh
just
my
love
gosh.
it.
Okay. She puts me in a trance, I'm glad I have some of that otherworldly mojo too. I think she and I have a little bit in common. I think the world of Kim, and we both came from an early history deep in the club scene, the underground rave scene, and the like warehouse party scene through a lot of hallucinogens, and we both have experience. And maybe I'm like outing her here. Maybe I'm like going too far, but I'm gonna just trust that she's like kind of cool with it. We both had near death experiences, so we both had like pretty powerful like infusions from some otherworldly something. Time spent in a different dimension, and then now we're back. So cool stuff. I'm just honored to be mentioned in the same breath as Rostar. She's an OG. She's one of my inspirations and mentors.
She's one of mine too. And I was very grateful. I was following her for 3 years
Yeah.
after the Capricorn Prometheus website went down. I found her chart, then I found her. It was like a divine orchestration, then to you. And so from your group of amazing, beautiful souls has spun all the people that are here right now in this chat.
That's cool.
And
That's
we're
cool.
very grateful for you. If anyone has any questions, hold on, let me tell you. Sharon said something else. She said she loved your answer to the question about Taurus, and she said last time of this conjunction right now, actually, with what she mentioned in the. She said she was 13 and had to suppress her masculine at high school. Thank you. I always receive healing and nurturing. Your perspective is awesome.
Thank you. Wow. No, that's wonderful that you can, because we have to take this role to heal ourselves. I can't, just dispense. I can't just move my jaw and make my mouth hole heal. But for people who can have that insight and who have familiarity with the inner landscape and have done some of their work, in a way, I think you can help people who are actively helping themselves. You can help them. You can support them. You can, but if someone isn't like able or willing and they're just not doing it on their own, you can't. I don't know if you can. I don't know how much you could really meaningfully offer them. So I think we all have to take a role in our own healing and apply our own insight. And to that extent, I really appreciate what you're saying, and your ability to kind of intuit what that means for you. Yeah. And thank you for the kind words. I'm glad to be such a presence in the world. Heather, are you there? We have the technology. All right. Let's everyone focus and hum, and we'll bring Heather back. It's just like that. I was just telling him, focus and hum, and we're going to bring Heather back. We use the power of intention. Yeah.
No you guys are good.
Excellent.
All of a sudden you froze. Last time I could still hear you talking to follow along,
wow,
but this time I couldn't. I could luckily see because I've got too many devices going on. Sorry about that, and welcome to this technology age.
Wow, yeah.
Okay, so Lori said you have the best moon reports, and if nobody has a question or anything, we will thank Michael for coming. And I don't know, I lost what you were talking about. It just cut me off and completely.
You know what we got? It was just more of sort of like an elaboration on a response to the question. I think I might get the name wrong, Sharon, but the Taurus neck question, or the neck pain issue, and we talked about Taurus and Aquarius. So you didn't miss much at all, and then we all collectively psychically joined hands and seanced you back from where you went.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Wherever it is we go.
Yeah. Where do we go? Whoa. Where do we go when we sleep?
I'm glad we can just flow it. I come from a similar scene that you say you and Kim came from
Yeah.
too, as well. The
Oh,
underground rave scene. So,
yeah.
I'm glad we all made it back and made it to where we are on this journey through
Oh,
this
yeah.
spiritual
Yeah.
connection. It's beautiful to be able to have
Absolutely.
so many of us here.
I think that's what I was always looking for, some kind of, spiritual, some kind of meaningful, like depth connection, some kind of shamanic, yeah, it's like a shamanic experience to get together in some kinda, like, clandestine location, and just, like, feel. I we can all speak for ourselves. I love club music when it's, like, pumped through a system that can really, like, when you feel it in your bones, there's just something about a throbbing warehouse full of people, like, and the lights, it's shamanic, it really is, or
Mhm.
if it isn't, because you could argue, like, no, that's actually not shamanic, that's hedonistic, but people were looking, even through like hedonistic means, they were looking for something like a connection to something deeper, a pulse to the planet, to the cosmos, that they were looking for a connection to something. And I think a
Oh,
lot of us
that's
found it.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
beautiful. We did. They
Yeah.
did use the drums. You're so right. That's how even the natives did rain dances. Just imagine if you were doing a rain dance, like not with just your hum, but to electronic drums and bass pounding techno music and calling in the spirit guides and really bringing healing for the earth. Like if we
Yeah.
really get into this, thinking of the secrets of the universe, Nikola Tesla said, are,
Mm.
if you want to know the secrets, energy, frequency, vibration.
Yeah.
So,
That's it.
yeah.
That's it. That's it. Yeah. There's always been something about just respecting, honoring, observing, uh, and even dancing to and enjoying the ecstasy of the pulse of life, the
Mm.
cycle. It's so primal, it's primordial. um but yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't mean to keep this going. We're about 25 minutes ago,
Yeah.
you were like, well, I think we can wrap it up, and then we've been talking. I don't want to. I mean, how do you feel? Where are we at? What's is
I
there
feel if you got anything, do you want to talk about anything else? I've asked all the questions that I had about aspects and stars and what you
beautiful?
do. And if
Yeah.
anybody has any questions, if there's any burning desire in your heart that you want to talk about, you are free to have the floor, or we can stay for a while. If you got somewhere to go, we can leave, or whatever you want to do.
Oh, well. It would be a good time to wind it down, to be
Yeah,
perfectly
it
honest.
is.
Just with
Yeah,
like
I
the
was,
timing in my time zone, it's about time for me to make dinner.
yeah.
Um, but as far as things I might want to talk about, no, because that's just a dangerous box to open. Sh Astrology especially is just a subject you can always sort of like, add a layer, a dimension of depth or insight. There's always more to say, and I find, a lot of power in knowing, just when to put all that down and just, um, go cook dinner. It's like very zen, like chop wood, carry
Yes.
water. I don't. So I'm okay with winding this down. It's been a
Mm.
delightful conversation. I totally appreciate your listening, your questions, just your enthusiasm about spreading the truth of this kind of astrology to people. And I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to just be here. It's been a joy.
Well, I thank you so much. It has been a joy. We should meet up again. I love your round tables when you all get together, when you had Verone and you. I'd love you guys to put Raw Star in there. If you guys could put Raw Star with you and Maria and Julie, and even Dr. Danny and River, like if it was like this big, and Abby,
Yeah.
that would be awesome.
Yeah, it
So,
sounds like an event.
yeah.
Sounds like a veritable party already. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So,
So we thank you and we will let you get back to your dinner and your life. And so if anybody wants to join, Michael's links are in the comment section. They're also in the description box below. And I'll put the Radical Astrology group one in there as well.
no, thank you.
And you
Yeah.
guys can subscribe to his channel, come join the group, and meet some like minds.
Yeah.
And until next time, I thank you for being here so much, Michael.
Oh, yeah. My pleasure. Thank you, everybody.
Bye bye.